Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. I want you to know that I'm surrounded. I feel a little overwhelmed, and I feel very thankful because I'm surrounded by so many of my mentors. Over here is, I think I saw Mayor Sandy Friedman. Where are you, Mayor? Yay! It all began for me in Sandy Friedman's office, and I was under the tutelage of the wonderful, my good friend, Bob Buckhorn. He's here. Where's the mayor? There's the mayor. And we all know one of West Tampa's sons, Bob Henriquez, is here. The awesome Charlie Miranda is over there. And I want to mention something. Did any of you happen to watch Bay News 9 last night and see my daughter on television? I don't know where she is, but she did a great job. Yay, Anna! I want to also mention there are two judges here whose races finished last night. Maria Peroni, where are you? Yay! And Judge Ober is here, and she's all finished. Yay! It's great. It's terrific. I want to thank everyone for being here today, and I'm honored to have with us Elvin and Sylvia Martinez. Where are they? Elvin, where's Sylvia? Sylvia, where are you? Come over here. The wonderful Sylvia Martinez here. They're all both here. Thank you. I want you to know that this dedication is a true pleasure for me. First, let me start by wishing Elvin. Let's all wish Elvin a happy birthday because he had a birthday last week. I can't think of a better gift for someone who has given so much to our community, so I'm very excited about this. Elvin Martinez is a beloved son of West Tampa. He was born in '34 and raised in this neighborhood. He is the perfect example of a good Latino upbringing. After graduating from the University of Tampa and Stetson Law School, Elvin set up a private law practice and remained open from '62 to '97. In between clients, Elvin decided that he needed to make a change in Tallahassee. At the age of 32, and I think that's the picture you see on the program, that's the young, handsome Elvin Martinez. At the age of 32, he was elected to the Florida House of Representatives in 1966. With the exception of a 4-year break, he remained a member of the Florida House until he was 63 in 1997. And let me tell you something. If you're part of the family of a state legislator, you understand the sacrifices that the family and the legislator makes, trekking back and forth to Tallahassee, not just for session, but for committee weeks. So Sylvia, to you and your family, thank you very much for giving of Elvin. In 1997, he was appointed to the circuit court judge by Governor Lawton Chiles. He remained on the bench until his retirement in 2004, and they miss him very much there. Elvin's public service spans over 34 years and is one that not too many people can achieve. His work as the House Criminal Justice Committee chairman is still being seen today, and his years as a tough but fair judge have won him the praises throughout the state. In an old interview that Elvin gave in 1970, he was quoted as saying this: "The function of government is to provide for people when they cannot provide for themselves." I think that he's proven this over and over again. Thank you, Elvin Martinez, for all that you have done. Now, I'm happy to invite one of our favorite people and one of our favorite mayors up to the podium, Mayor Bob Buckhorn.
How about a great round of applause for the woman that actually made this happen? Yeah. I've told Elvin this story. The first time I ran for office, Elvin and EJ wrote a letter to the residents of West Tampa endorsing me. And, you know, a lot of folks didn't know me at the time. I had just come out of Sandy Friedman's operation. You know, I was this young Irish guy out there. And I can remember on election day standing out in one of the precincts and watching person after person walk to the polls with this letter in their hand. And I would say to them, I would say, ma'am, who are you voting for? And they'd say, Bob Buckhorn, because Elvin Martinez told me to vote for Bob Buckhorn. So Elvin, thank you. But more importantly, thank you for being who you are. You represent, and your family represents, the best of West Tampa in every sense of the word. I mean, that commitment to La Familia, that commitment to this community, never forgetting where you came from, never forgetting your roots, always standing up for the little guy because you knew what it felt like to be an outsider. You knew what it felt like when the immigrant families came to this country and they weren't allowed to participate. You knew what it felt like when those signs at the pools said no dogs and no Latins. You never forgot. And you never forgot West Tampa. And you never forgot your Latin roots. And because of what Janet Cruz has done, we will never forget you. God bless you, Elvin, and thank you.
I don't know how I could forget to introduce one of my best friends and the great daughter of West Tampa. Julie Holt is back there, our public defender. Thank you, Julie, for being here. Thank you, Mayor. I'm happy to also and now I'd like to invite our former state representative, Bob Henriquez, to speak.
Thank you, Representative Cruz, and thank you for this opportunity. And Elvin, I'm honored and humbled to have the opportunity to speak on your behalf here today. You know, there are some giants that have been part of politics in West Tampa. My great-grandfather was the last mayor of West Tampa before it became part of the City of Tampa. There are folks like my cousin Lou Delapart, who you served with, who was a giant. But Elvin Martinez is a giant in this community, a giant in the political discourse that's taking place in this state over the past many decades. And we're honored to be here today to be part of this with you. You came at a different time. You served at a different time, a time when representatives and senators went to Tallahassee and took care of business and didn't care what a political party told them, what a particular ideology told them. You did the right thing, and you based it on what was in your gut, because that's how we deal with things in West Tampa and Ybor City and the City of Tampa. What the right thing to do. You know, I went up there and whenever I would mention that I was in Elvin Martinez's seat, I always got this incredible reaction from people. Oh my God, Elvin, we love Elvin, okay? And everyone, there was a commonality. Right after somebody said we all loved Elvin, and gosh, we couldn't wait for him to stand up and talk on behalf of children. That you cared about criminal justice, but when you talked about children, it was so passionate. And that is your legacy in Tallahassee, and it's a wonderful legacy. You know, everybody remembers a number of years ago when Dan Quayle compared himself to John F. Kennedy. And then the retort to that was, oh, I served with John Kennedy. I knew John Kennedy, okay, and you're no John Kennedy. Well, I'm no Elvin Martinez, and there never will be another one. Thank you so much.
I also want to mention that my good friend, Councilwoman Yoli Capin, is here. Yoli, thank you for being here. And I also want to mention this. Elvin had a gentleman that sat next to him, and the two of them misbehaved on a regular basis. He went on to be a senator, but Senator Hargrid is here somewhere. Where are you, Senator? And now I'd like to introduce someone that we all know and love. It needs no introduction, Charlie Miranda.
Muchísimas gracias, un placer estar aquí esta mañana a reconocer a nuestro amigo, representante por muchos años y juez de fiscal Elvin Martinez. Te estoy hablando en inglés because I had to learn English when I came to this wonderful place. My father did, so we're all here, we're all from the same blood. Some of us have hair, some don't, some are tall, some are small, some are big, some are real thin. Fortunately, I was just born ugly, but let me just say that sin Elvin, muchos de nosotros hoy no habíamos tenido la oportunidad a tener carrera políticamente como lo tenemos hoy. Es muy fácil ahora. In other words, I could say it in English, but I'll let you look in the book and find out what I said. So Elvin, you and your family, Sylvia, your son was a great catcher for me at Wellswood Little League. And I see you brought your doctor, Victor Martinez. He can help both of us, I'll tell you that. But we're here today to honor you in a special way. And by the way, I live in Tampa. I don't live in Tampa Bay. So I want you to know that. And I'm honored to say that it's wonderful to have recognition of someone of your character and what you've done for this area and the opportunities you've given most of us. If you want to aspire to political office and do a job for the rest of the citizens, you were the leader. And thank you so much for allowing us this time.
I want to recognize a few more dignitaries. Councilman Harry Cohen is here. Thank you, Harry. Former Councilwoman Gwen Miller is here. Thank you, Gwen, for being here today. And representing Congresswoman Kathy Castor is Chloe Coney here today. Thank you. I also want to recognize that Victor Martinez is here today. Victor, thank you for being here. Okay. I want to introduce someone who worked with Elvin in Tallahassee, who probably holds the key to all kinds of stories and secrets that we'll never hear. But I want to introduce Bobby Odom. Come on up here, Bobby.
Can you hear me? I did not work for Elvin Martinez. I was employed by Elvin Martinez. Let's get that. Is that not true, Elvin? When he hired me, I thought I was chief of staff and I was his aide, and I didn't. Now, Edith Stewart worked for FIG, and she worked for FIG. She was an aide. I was the chief of staff, at least that's what. I learned a great deal, and thank the Lord for Wilson Pickett, because Wilson Pickett and myself were in charge of the nighttime, weren't we, Elvin? Elvin was a great man in Tallahassee and also in Tampa as judge. Elvin voted his conscience. And I used to say to Elvin, but these people during campaign time, they will do a lot of things. He said, doesn't make any difference, Bobby. We have to do the right thing and vote our conscience. And Elvin always did that. Thank you, Elvin. Mr. West Tampa.
Someone else who served in the House with Elvin is Sam Bell. Sam Bell is here. Hey, Sam. Also, I want to introduce the Hersey family, because the Hersey family were law partners with Elvin for many years. So the Herseys are here too. Okay, now without further ado, I'm going to ask all those that are elected or were elected to join me at the sign with Elvin, because we're going to unveil the sign.
You have no idea how moving this is for me and my family. When I think back over the years, I start thinking, where did they go? Well, a lot of fun, a lot of action, a lot of debates, a lot of learning, and a lot of caring. But really what stands out is when I think about those times that someone came to me and said, Elvin, my son's in jail in Jacksonville, and it's too far for me to travel. What can you do? Well, first thing I tell them, remember, there are prisons and there are prisons. Some of them are bad, some of them are good. You go on weekends, they stay there 24 hours a day. But if you want them closer, I'll see what I can do that fits, that's appropriate for them. That happened many times. Same way with the mental health. Those are the things that I really, really remember. Of course, the job of being a representative, and particularly a committee chairman, you always set goals. You know, when I first started, the election laws were a complete mess. And under Speaker Pettigrew, he gave me carte blanche, and I said, okay, and we went for it. We changed everything. And No one here remembers running under those conditions, but they were not easy. And the tracking was horrible. Then I moved on to criminal justice, and there was so much need. People were serving 20, 30% of their time, and we were incarcerating people for all kinds of things that they really didn't deserve. If you stole a car in Panama City, you were liable to do 5 years. You stole a car in Miami or in Tampa, you'd get 6 months. That was just not fair. And it was not fair, particularly to the minority groups. So we went to work and did a little bit of work there. Juvenile justice was a mess. But those things are accomplishments that I deem lasting. But the important thing is all those people who need help getting food stamps, making sure their children got an education. Those are things that matter. And let me tell you one more thing, because I'm 78 years old, and when Janet's office called and said, we don't have a bio on you, I started thinking about writing a bio. I said, you know, when I was 30 years old, it was a biography. At 78, it's an obituary. So I asked my daughter Leah to come here on Sunday and do it for me, because I don't want to deal with that. But to Janet and all of you that showed up, Janet Cruz particularly, my family, my brothers and sisters, my sons and daughters and cousins, everybody's a cousin, you know. We are just so appreciative of this honor that it's just great. You know, my first campaign manager was my brother Andrew, my oldest brother, who since passed away. And I was a young man full of vim and vinegar and running countywide. We'd get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and campaign all over the county. Finally, about 10:30, I would get tired, and I'd tell Andrew, I'm tired. I don't think there's any place else to go. He says, Elvin, bowling alleys are open all night. So that's the work ethic that I used, and that's the way it is. So, Janet, thank you so much for everyone who had something to do with it. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Elvin. Okay, guys, in the true Latino fashion, in the true West Tampa fashion, there's no celebration without food, so we'll see you at lunch. Let's go.